everybody, I'm Drew from Blackstar. This is our HT5 webinar. We're going to talk about this little bad boy, HT5 amp. We're basically running it as a forum sort of thing, so if you want to ask any questions, make any comments, there's a little box I leave here where I'm pointing. So yeah, if there's anything you want to know, to answer Crazy Train, it was based on a duel. So yeah, let's start. HT5. HT5 has been out for a couple of years, three years actually. This is the second version of it, so the Mark II. This has got reverb on it, whereas the old one didn't. The HT5 comes in a number of different flavours. So this is the HT5 combo with reverb. You can buy the same amp without reverb as well for a little bit less money. Just over here we've got the HT5 mini stack. So that's a 5-watt head, two 112 extension cabs. And then you can also buy the head on its own. So if you've already got your existing cab, you can buy one of these and whack that for it. So the HT5, it's an award-winning product. Ever since we brought it out, it's won various different awards from reviewers and other people like that. So it's a cracking little amp with lots of features, which we're going to run through today. So the amp it's a valve amp, so there's two valves in it. You've got an ECC83 in the preamp and a 12BH7 in the power amp. Two channels. So the first channel is the clean channel, which you have two knobs for. You've got a volume and you've also got a tone controller as well. And we've basically, with all our products, we want them all, wherever the parameters are set, we want it all to be usable. So whether you're taking the tone down, you get a nice jazzy tone. If you wind the tone on, you get a nice bright, sparkly sort of clean. So I'm just going to start by just giving you some cleans really to show you that. I'm using Music Man Axis Super Sport. I'm using this because it gives you a good variety of tones. So you've got humbuckers, but I can also split the coils so you get the sort of more stratty sort of sounds on it as well. So this is just a bridge pickup clean. It's just sort of on the point of breakup. So with a low wattage valve amp, it means that there's not a massive amount of headroom, which is a good thing, because when you start pushing it, you start to get that really natural, crunchy sort of tone out of it. So and the more you push it with the pickups, the harder you work the amp. So that gives you a crunch. So there's your humbucker. Let's put that to a single coil. You get a really nice stratty kind of funky vibe. Just show you how that sounds with the tone rolled off, give you a nice jazzy sort of tone. Just put a little bit of reverb in the mix. Might help if I put my mic on. Might be able to hear me now. So yeah, that was the basically the clean channel with the tone rolled off. Let's put that up, give you a bit more of a brighter, sparkly sound. What I'm going to do now, I've got my sound man there is about to sort the levels out. I'm going to crank the clean channel. So this is where you start to get the natural breakup. So if the sound goes a little bit funny now, it's because my volume's a lot louder and we just need to adjust it so it's not too fuzzy. there you go. That sounds nice and crunchy. Just show you that on the neck pickup. So there you get the, you know, that's a small valve amp working hard. So we're really pushing it, but we're not getting ridiculous volumes. I'm sat here and we're nearly running the clean flat out, and you know I can quite happily sit here. So as a sort of a home practice amp, it works extremely well. So that's the clean channel. We just have to readjust our volume because I'm going to be a bit quieter on this channel. With the drive channel, you've got a few more controls in terms of the EQ parameters. So you've got bass, middle, treble. You've also got ISF, our patented ISF technology, which basically allows you to get the different voicings. So you can have a British, darker British tone, or a brighter, more American tone. So just to start off with, I'm starting on a fairly low gain setting. I've got it cranked over to the British side, so it's slightly darker. Crank it over to the American side, keeping the same chords just so you can hear the tonal differences. Now I'm going to stick it on my personal favourite setting, which is just a little bit past halfway, somewhere in the middle of the ocean. There we go. I can see we've got people from all over the world here. We've got somebody in Oregon Coast, that's Mac Duff Design, hello to you. Somebody in Canada, got some people in Birmingham, Boston, so yeah, well, thanks for joining in. As I say, if you've got any questions about the products, give us a shout. I can see that some people are asking about our new stuff. We will be doing another webinar for our new stuff in a few months' time, basically. So right, back to the drive channel. I'm going to keep my ISF set. I've got the bass at 12 o'clock, I've got my treble at 12 o'clock, I've got the mid scooped slightly, and I've got, at the minute, I'm just running the gain on about 2. So let's show you what it does from the bottom, really. So this is minimal gain with more volume, so you get just that point of breakup, crunchy tone, really. Cranking the gain a little bit, we're getting to just past a quarter of the way up. It's a real rocky. Somebody's just asked a question about the proper way of turning a HT20 off because there's no standby switch. The proper way is, I suppose ideally you'd leave it for a few minutes after you finish playing it and then just turn it off. So there is no other way. Right, we're going to crank the gain a little bit. I'm going to stick it about halfway up so we get into some more sort of metally tones. I'm going to crank my ISF over to the American side. what you get is just a really musical distortion. You know, the notes jump out, the harmonics are there, you know, the pinch harmonics if you get those, which I haven't really hit too many, but I can do them sometimes. It's just a really, it's one of those amps. Sometimes you sit down with a product, a guitar or an amp or something, you sit down and you don't even think about it, you just start playing it and you can sit there forever. And this amp does that for me. So we're going to crank the gain a little bit now. Let's just go max, just so you know what's in there. There's a lot of gain in here. Whole lot of gain in there, which is cool. You have to excuse my little mistakes in there, but I'm feeling a little bit of pressure. You're all watching me, and I'm not used to doing stuff like this. So yeah, so there's sort of an idea of the tones within the amp. Now I just want to talk about, I'll tell you what I haven't spoke about, is the reverb. So let's go back to a clean, just give you an idea of the radio. So basically it's a digital reverb, but sort of studio quality digital reverb. So set about halfway. Just for a start on that, to answer B pass 1, if I'm using the emulated out for recording, do I need to have the speaker hooked up to have a safe load on the amplifier? The answer to that is no. You could take this amplifier without a speaker, or indeed the head, and you can use it for direct recording. So basically you have the amp on, you have the amp in standby mode, and then you take from the emulated out, which also doubles as a headphone socket. So to answer your question, yes, it is safe to do so. To answer Cosmic GTR 65, what's different about the head versus the combo? It's a head, that's it. There is no difference. They are exactly the same amp. It's just this comes with a combo and a speaker. That is just a head, so you can use it with whatever cab you want. So there you go. Cool. Right, the reverb. What? Go over that. Oh yeah, all right. They're telling me to do things I haven't actually got to yet, so I am going to talk about these things. They're just being a little bit impatient. So the reverb. I've got bags of reverb here. We're basically swimming in it. So here's what it sounds like. So there you go, that's the reverb. Just to try and answer somebody's question, so you said leave the amp on standby and the emulated out will work. Yes, that is true. Somebody else wants to know, are all these features on the HT20 head? Yes, they are. and they don't know whether they want to buy the 50, go to a shop, try them both, see what works for you, is my best advice on that one. So there we go, we've covered the channels, we've covered the reverb. Next we're going to talk about the valves. There are 2 valves in this amp. We've got a ECC83 in the preamp, and we've got a 12BH7 in the power amp. So this amp is in a push-pull configuration, which basically means that the amp reacts in the way that a traditional 100-watt power stage would do, which gives you that rich harmonic, nice sort of breakup. If you want to get a little bit more technical, then we can do, but ask me if you want to. So that's the valves. In terms of the other features on the amp, you can't see it here. I think we might have an image that we're going to pull up. Are we going to pull up an image? We are going to pull up an image. I can't see what's on the screen, so bear with me if it's not there yet. So on the back of the amp, what I can do is show you on the back of here. Ooh, it's a daisy. So we have got, as you can see, MP3 line input. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. MP3 line input, so you can plug your iPod in there, so that runs through the amp. It basically means you can sit there and have a jam along, which is cool. You've got a effects loop as well, so if you're running any delays or additional reverbs, you can stick those through the back end. Foot switch comes with a one-way foot switch, so you can switch between the 2 channels. You've also got, this is a cool bit, and this is something that we're very good at Blackstar, is the emulated out. So in a moment we will give you a demonstration, because we've got this amp hooked up to the emulated out, so it's going to go straight out of here through a mixer and straight into your speakers, so you can hear how that sounds. And then the options, you can run extension cabs from it, so up to 2 extension cabs can be run from here. Then you've got your power socket on the back as well, so that gives you an idea. So let's show you how the emulated out sounds. Yeah, so this is basically the emulated out. There you go, so that's the speaker emulated out on there as well. Another thing about these, they just look cool. I think personally, I know I'm slightly biased because I work for them, but all Blackstars look really cool, especially when they're on a stage. The emulated out, one other thing I didn't mention, or I've sort of mentioned with one of the questions, is this is a 5-watt amp. Traditionally, you can't really gig a 5-watt amp because it's not going to compete with your drummer. With the emulated out on this, the cool thing with the emulated out is you can use the emulated out with a speaker on or off. So if you're playing a bigger stage, you can send your line out from your emulated out to your desk, which is good for 2 reasons. One, you know every time you go to a gig, you're going to get the same sound through your amp, as opposed to a different sound guy every time with a different mic, putting it in a different position, and you're never going to get the same sound. With this, you can go straight out the emulated out into the desk, and you're guaranteed to get the same tone every time, which is cool. Flip it out of standby mode, then you can use this speaker to monitor on stage as well. So it's a 5-watt valve combo that you can use on a big stage, which is really cool. And the sound guy's going to love you because it's not going to be ridiculously loud. So that covers that. Have we got any more questions on there? Nothing that I can answer immediately, I don't think. Cool, right, so we covered it's a gigable amp. It's not just a practice amp, can be a practice amp because you've also got the emulated out, which doubles as a headphone socket. So if you plug your headphones into there, it becomes stereo, so you get a really nice stereo reverb through your headphones. So as a practice tool, if you want silent practice, plug your headphones in, stick your iPod in, have a little jam along. You're not going to annoy your neighbours or your mum upstairs or anything like that, or your missus. So it's really cool. Full of those features as well. As I say, you can run extension cabs. I've run this through basically everything I can get my hands on. I put it through a 112, a 212, a 412, and you put this through a 412 and you wouldn't believe it's 5 watts. It sounds pretty immense and really moves some air. A lot of our artists use this as a warm-up amp as well. The likes of Dimmy Borgir, Gus G as well, Aussie's guitarists use these backstage basically to get themselves warmed up before they step out, plug into their Series 1 200s and start ripping people's heads off. So yeah, that's kind of a general overview of that. Have we got? Oh, we've got a Rex Carroll. Thanks, Joe. And yeah, thanks, Joe. There's always one. Another very cool thing that's going to be in shops over the next couple of months, we've just had Frankfurt Music Messe last week, which we were out at, and that was basically our 5th birthday. So we've been around for 5 years, and to celebrate 5 years of Blackstar, we've come up with a new product. It's going to be limited edition. We're only doing 2,500 worldwide. There's going to be about 250 in the UK. Most of those are sold, to be honest. If you want one, go and see your local dealer and get your order in, because they disappear very, very quickly. So it is a HT5 in a combo form, but 2 10-inch speakers. There might even be a picture on screen now, I don't know. Split baffle in cream, and I saw the picture way before it was introduced. It's like, I'm having one of these, it looks awesome. So they're going to be around probably in June, sort of July time, so a few months away. So if you want one, get saving now, because they look really, really cool. So there you go, that's kind of a general overview. I think I've covered all the bases. I've given you some sort of key tones in there. We talked about the reverb. So yeah, if you've got any questions, now is the time. Would I recommend using the passive attenuator to make it a 3-channel Peach? I don't know. Sorry, I've got a funny feeling I might know who that is actually. That's one of those questions just to wind me up a little bit. Thanks, Lee. Can I use an 8 ohm speaker output together with a 16 ohm output at the same time? It's not recommendable, I would say. Any more questions? Any more sensible questions? Looks like not. I'm just going to have a little jam then. If nobody's got any questions, if they pop up, then cool, we'll answer them. Halfway down. Oh, we've got some questions. Sorry. Where are we? 753. Which one? Do all pedals need to go? Not necessarily. Personally, I put my reverbs and delays through the loops, modulations and drive pedals in the front end. but it's kind of, you can experiment. I mean, I know some people that put a boost in the loop because it gives you a serious volume lift. So if you're about to kick into a solo, you really want to stand out from the rest of your band, then put a boost in the loop and that'll give you a serious hike in volume. It's a case of experimentation, really. I mean, all our ears are different, and as a guitarist, you never stop experimenting. I've got loads of pedals at home. I'm going to end up buying loads more pedals before I die, which I hope isn't anytime soon. Yeah, I mean, we experiment with guitars, with amps, with pedals. It's just try things and find something that works for you. Traditionally, you put a delay and a reverb for a loop, and everything else for the front end, but experiment is all I can say on that. Yeah, I got that in there for you, Lauren. What else we got? What else we got in there? Are there any more HT Effects pedals coming? You just have to wait and see. That's the secret. What pedal it's? Oh, somebody's asking what pedal it is based on. It is based on a HT Dual, so it is effectively a HT Dual with a power section turned into an amp. We did so well with that, and it was kind of an afterthought, to be honest. It wasn't something that was planned. It was a bit of an accident, but it was an accident that was very successful, has won us lots of awards and sold lots of amps, which is cool because I keep my job. Anyone else on there? HT Solar is 60. Why is it only a combo? Basically because we've done the 50, which is very similar to the 40. The fact that we had the 100 watt head, which was 3 channels, so you could effectively use the 3rd channel as a boost, we didn't think that was the way to go, so we went for a 50 because it sits nicely in between the 20, the 50 and the 100 is the reason. Any other questions in there we haven't answered? Danielle Marquez, yeah, Guitar Centre, check out the HD5, and they were told they were for beginners and we're looking into a line 6. It's not for me to pass judgment on other people's amps, but these are very, very cool. Will the HT heads ever have a DPI feature? They're not on the current range. The current range hasn't been out for that long. There's no immediate plans to replace it. So who knows? All in the goodness of time. How are we doing for time?
2 or 3 minutes.
It's got 2 or 3 minutes. Well, yeah, we've got a couple of minutes, so I'm just gonna play some stuff. What should I play? Let's have a clean. There we go. I think we're sort of coming to the end of our time together. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks for the lack of abuse that I normally get on these sort of things. That's cool, apart from my Blackstar colleagues. So yeah, the general response has been pretty cool. You like Blackstar? I love working for Blackstar. We're going to be doing this sort of thing on a monthly basis, so if you've got any suggestions for things that you want us to demo, then just drop us a line, and we'll try and focus on those things. People that are asking about the new stuff, the ID range, we will be doing something on that, but to be honest, probably not for a couple of months. The product's not going to be arriving for at least 2 or 3 months, so we don't see the point in doing it now. Let's do it once the products are in the shops, and we can give you a good idea of what they do. But all I can tell you, having spent a bit of time with them, is they are going to blow your mind. They're absolutely awesome. So yeah, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.